Desert flower. We're gonna take a look at this one today because I've seen some comments around wondering how you could possibly survive in an area that is permanent drought. So it actually looks like, no, interesting. We can pick our map seed here. So yours isn't going to look exactly the same as mine, but as you can see, mountains are medium, ruins are medium, and free area around starting point is medium, which is a good thing. And there's absolutely no forests or lakes. So we are going to have to plant and cultivate our own trees for wood. I believe there's some kind of decrepit forest out there that we can start cutting down, but I'm just going to roll my map a few times and not mess with the game or map settings. And rain is obviously set to never. So we don't have to worry about radiation too much, I believe, which will be nice. We're mainly going to move right into plastic and not worry too much about cloth and metal because we're going to want a lot of irrigators and wells. I'm just going to leave the map name the same and just for good measure roll and just start the game. Okay, so somewhat of a different build going on here. This is just kind of the basics at the moment. Obviously, there's nowhere for fishing huts to get food. Their farms are not going to grow just yet, but hunting does look pretty good. So I might even start with double hunters because that's basically my only way to get food. Kind of a little bit of an awkward position over here, but the reason I started here is because it looks like these deer are going to hang out right here, and I think, yeah, I saw some boars over here. So just getting them about as close to the bus as possible. I have got some wells going up. I've got 4 right now. And if each well holds 350 water and they want me to store 5,000, that's 5,000 divided by 350. That's looking like 14.2 wells, or just rounding up to 15 wells. However, these should be able to cap, I believe. So the other thing I can do is put in a cistern eventually, and then that'll be some extra storage and even a water tower. I'm not too actually worried about the filtration. I'm not sure if once it's already in the cistern, if it can still get contaminated. Um, that's something I'll have to check. Radiation isn't looking too bad. I'm surprised I already have some yellow right here, but that should shift and move, I think. Typically, it's because of the rain that would make it shift, but obviously, I don't have any rain coming anytime soon. So, my plan is to get this irrigation plan up as quick as possible and ensure that I have the wood to do all of these buildings. I'm starting with 236. No, in stock 200, reserve 36. Yeah, I'm starting with 200 wood, and I need to make sure that I can build a few wells, the hunters' lodges, maybe a couple houses, and then still get up this irrigation plant. This is like the most important thing right now because of food, and then this whole area will be irrigated. But I'm gonna have forestry lodges right here. So I'm gonna end up making this thing a few times. They might they might be able to plant some trees as well right here. I could probably just move them slightly off or have the actual lodges up here, but this be their area of work. And this is basically going to be your only way to get wood is to irrigate it first. So what I could do is probably drop another irrigator around here somewhere or possibly over here and do the same thing. I might even have this area and then maybe the lodges themselves built right up here. This whole area and this whole area be irrigated, and then that's kind of their field of work. And in fact, oh yeah, that's plenty of room. That's just going to be temporary. I mean, ideally, maybe I get over here and irrigate this whole thing, and they'll have more than enough forest to work with. Because I believe the last stage of this is to actually grow like 500 trees or something like that. So eventually, we're going to need this whole workspace. But for now, at least I can irrigate this, and then maybe even just reposition this slightly. I tried to give it a little more room down here. This isn't my ideal farming build, but at least I'll be able to fully irrigate these 2 orchards for some food so that I'm not only relying on the hunting lodges. But that is it for now. I'm going to try to ration that wood, get this scrap yard up as soon as possible. I'm really not obviously worried about scrap too much. I've got plenty of scrap to clear up. It's more going to be about that wood, to be honest. I'm not sure if I'm even going to go for the expedition station and all that fun stuff. I don't think it's important on this playthrough. I more just kind of want to focus bare bones stuff. Your biggest struggles are going to be food and water, and then maybe some light protective clothing, and getting a bunch of wood. And that's about it. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so at this point, I'm just about out of wood. What do I have left? 32. I think I could get a tailor shop up with that. Yep, I could exactly get a tailor shop up with that. I'm not sure if that's the highest of my priorities right now. In fact, with only 2 cabins up, I think I'd rather spend that on cabins. So that's 8, 16, 24. 32. Okay, whatever. That's fine for now. And then the first thing I've done before running out is set this to replant because I want to get these trees going here as fast as possible. I'm thinking the next place I'll go is like over here because I believe with the amount, it's going to be a little bit of a walk for them, but I'm not too worried about that because I could put an irrigation plant right here and have that fully utilized. Let me think. It's just outside this wild boar meat. Yeah, that actually looks perfect. Right there, which means they would be utilizing this for wood and this full thing. As far as food goes, I'm actually not doing bad at all. They're really generous with the wild animals. I've got 1,800 food right here, and once I can get up a few recyclers, I think the next thing I would do for food is pastures. These orchards are going to start coming up now that this irrigator is functional. I did get a cistern, which is able to cover all of my current wells at the moment, and it's even starting to fill up a little bit from like these capped wells. So I really need to get the population going up here pretty soon, and with these houses, that should help. I've got plenty of time till people start dying. I stored up quite a bit of plastic, so I'm actually going to get this irrigator going right now, which I think should actually work. I think I've got the wood for that. How much wood? 12, 20, 28. Okay. Yeah. And I still have some more wood in stock. Okay, whatever. This is fine. So I'm going to get this like basically fully reforested, or at least growing, and then go back to cut down and reforest. There's only one person working right here at the moment, but as as these start to grow, I can always staff up once I get some more people matured. So we'll just go with this right now. My build priority was, I believe, 3 wells, a hunter's lodge, I think a 4th and a 5th well, this scrapyard, a couple houses, a cistern. I mean, and then I just watched my wood to make sure that I'd be able to get that forester's lodge in before I ran out, or else that's game over. There's no other way for me to get wood if you don't squeeze this in time. All right, with this second forester's lodge down, I've got also a second irrigator up, and one is set to just reforest and the other is cut down and reforest because I need that wood. Part of the problem that's going on here is that you can see them little here, these little sprouts. People will just plant trees in the most ridiculous place possible, and then they never grow. I mean, they're going to sprout out of the ground like this and instantly die. They need water. So your people are going to walk all over the place and drop little seedlings and then just let them die. You just kind of have to hope that they get lucky and drop it in a place with water. So I've already got that second irrigator going. I'm doing, okay on water. They want me to store that 5,000. So I'm also going to get another cistern going because what's happening right now is even this cistern is full just from gathering from the wells, which are also about to be full. So with that, that's going to be 2,000 plus 2,000. That's already 4,000 plus the wells I have going here, and we'll hit that first water landmark. At least it's not a toll. They're not going to just take it all away from me. The tailor shop quest procced, and I think I'm just going to let it fail. There's no way I want to get a charcoal burner up right now, I think, and keep taking my wood. Though, with 143, maybe we can pull this off. The workshop quest also procced, but with my one recycler, I've just kind of been bouncing back and forth from cloth to metal to plastic, and honestly, it's probably, I don't know, I don't really need, I'm doing fine on everything right now. Scrap, at least, is not an issue on this map at all, clearly. I'm just going to be drowning in scrap. And while we're at it, I think if I set this to priority, I think I actually have enough time. Why don't we just plop it down right here, unpause it, and set it to build next. I could actually probably pull this off. If I literally just burn enough coal to get these 2 masts done, I think that's 2 coal, that's it. And that'll give me 7 masts total. Food is doing just fine. These pecans really have a great yield once the trees are matured, and then I've still got 1 person on hunter just for the variety. Unfortunately, I'm only serving a couple kinds of food, but that's okay. No one's really complaining yet. So, I mean, it's already season 13. This is typically when I'm getting to schools and stuff like that, but it's a little slow going when you have to wait on these trees. So, what would be my next? Let's finish those. Let's finish those masks. Let's finish those tools. Keep everyone happy. Another thing, I think scrap totems have suddenly become my favorite decoration. I'm going to have to work this into my build somehow, because for the longest time I thought they required metal, and I was like, I don't want to use metal on that. But with a map where I'm drowning in scrap and a little low on wood, I was looking for an option other than flower bed, because I didn't really want to spend like 45 wood putting these all over the place. And I found scrap totem, and even hovering over it, I was like, I've got plenty of metal. This shouldn't be a problem. And I realized it's only 25 scrap and 5 wood. On a normal playthrough, that might be a lot, but for +8 attractiveness, that's awesome. I like that a lot. I think we're still going to put in a campfire up here eventually for the community buff. What does that cost? 60 wood. That's why I'm also kind of dreading this right now, but why not? Why don't we just plop that down, and we're just going to keep rolling here. All right, first milestone is complete. We've stored 5,000 water, and then let's see what Arthur wants next. Attend to our food. Let's do it. Gather food from different sources. So I'm already at 4 out of 7. With so much food, actually I don't have a second seed. You know what? We could do gather plants, and it's mushrooms and berries, so I'm not sure if this is actually going to count or not. You know what? I'm just going to plop it right here because it's a little closer to the bus. So that's going to be at least 1 source of food. I've got pecans, wild boar, and roe deer. The next thing I'm getting up is a pasture, but that's not actually going to be a variety of food. It's just going to be doing the same thing, and neither of them has milk or eggs, unfortunately. That would be a great thing to start with on this game. So what I'm thinking about doing, oh man, the Forester's Lodges are just in an awful place for this. But I don't know, I'm not too worried about the walk. It's more like just survival here. So what we could do is take a cultivated field, bring it 16, what's getting in the way here? 15 by 13. Oh, because of the flag there. Where, you know what? Okay, let's cancel this really quick. This is certainly going to be suboptimal, but I'm not too worried about food, to be honest, especially once I get those pastures going up. That is a 16. Why don't we start from here? 15. 15 by 13 cultivated field, and another 15 by 13 cultivated field. So there's going to be a little bit of a gap here. I'm not too worried about that. So there's 2 more sources of food, and let's get that task, gather plants from right here, and we're going to see how that goes. That should be plenty. Another thing I'm wondering is if builders come out here to cut down these trees, is it just thrown away, or am I actually getting it? So I like to, let's slow down here. slow down to a ×1 speed. And as you can see, they're cutting down the trees, and then it looks like carrying it back to the bus. He's carrying wood, and he's going to the temporary storage room. So that's great. I would even encourage that for harder difficulties. Like, if you're gonna build a building anyway, you might as well plop it where a tree already exists, and he's gonna gather the wood for that. There they go. Okay, and so once we get that 5,000, oh, it's just produced. It's not even stored. No wonder. So why don't we also, I put up a couple of temporary storage rooms, so why don't we go to our food production and increase that to 10,000, because I'm already capped, so they're not actually producing anything. And we'll just keep going like this for a bit, and that should be my 7, a variety of 7. And in fact, just to make sure we stay like this, I'm gonna set another hunter and make sure that both boars and deer are in this range. Oh, what am I doing? Another thing, let's drop to 1 water carrier and just leave 1 settler, or else nobody's working on this task. Alright, that was pretty quick. By season 21, we're done with that part. So I was basically just waiting on the potatoes to be harvested, and as soon as they got that first wave and brought it back to the bus, it triggered. So between potatoes, tomatoes, pecans, 2 different kinds of animals, and I believe mushroom and berry, all counted as 7. I was just about to, out of curiosity, stick some animals in the pasture because I wasn't sure if it was like type of food or what building it was coming from. Like, I almost thought this would be considered one type of food source because it's both farm or cultivated field versus orchard versus hunting lodge versus pasture, but that seems to have done it. And I can even tell it says 7 different types of food right here, and mushrooms and berries should both count for that. So that gathered plants solved it. And construction materials. So now they're going to ask for wood and plant trees and get them to grow. So I've currently got 61 out of 211. One thing, I mean, this would already be done if I just want to wait on this 1 circle, because they're going to grow up, get cut down, get replanted, grow again. But to make it go a little bit faster, I think what I'm going to do is this is going to be a little bit of a walk, but let's see what we can do here. And with that, I mean, I'm not too worried about the scrap. I'm swimming in scrap, so if some scrap gets wasted, I'm okay with that. And I think if it was right here, it's basically on the border, I could put at least 2 more irrigation plants right here. So how about like 1 right here overlapping a little bit, and 1 right here overlapping a little bit. Yeah, let's just do that. I've got the plastic for it. How much? 30. I have 70 in stock. Yep. Okay. So I'll have a surplus of 10. Still just cranking out neck scarves because radiation has been a non-issue. As long as I can finish this in time, I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to go to cut down for now so that I'm basically starting from scratch. I want to get all this out of the way, and then as soon as these irrigators are done, I'm just going to go to plant only, and that should spam like 200 trees right away, and then I only have to wait for like a couple seasons to get that done. So I'm done with this gather plants. I don't need the food. I'm not worried about the food. Got to just make sure I stay up on water to accommodate for my current population. I put down a shelter for all infertile because I'm just going to stop at 10 cabins. I don't need to go any further than this, but I want to make sure they're used for reproduction. We did get a graveyard because my first deaths have come through, and it's all just of age. 96% are in neck scars. That's good. Fertility's doing fine. 0%. There's definitely some dumb people here, but that's okay. I'm not even going to go for the school and all that nonsense. And they've got some tools. They should be happy. Back on scrap tools. Okay, that's good. And yeah, that's just how I'm going to go for now. Let's see how it works out. Okay, so we're getting pretty close here. I've let my population rise a little bit too quickly, which is I think why I'm suffering on water a bit. Plus, putting up three or well, there's only 2 more irrigation plants simultaneously probably didn't help. So I've just kind of started slapping down additional wells here. I'm up to a dozen, fully staffed with a few water carriers, taking it to now unfiltered water towers. I don't really have a reason to spend any coal on that because they're coming from clean places anyway. I don't have to worry about it getting contaminated. Not that radiation is an issue anyway. It's still just pumping out those neck scars. I'm at 2 out of 3 out of 211, and that has to be a simultaneous thing. Like you have to have 211 mature trees available at once. I can't really like grow it in one circle, cut it down, and then regrow them. I need to have 211 standing trees. So as you can see, I'm not sure why it would go down. No one is cutting it down. And my tasks are not cutting. So I've watched it. There we go. I've watched it drop a couple times, but 3 circles like this overlapping is more than enough room. I see plenty of little spots where they could have put another. If you're having difficulties with this final, just give it time. They've got to fully grow and mature, and don't try to cut them down and reforest. At the end here, I had 8 people on foresters and just straight up reforesting. That's it, because I was fine on wood and I didn't plan on building much more anyway. So thank you so much, blah blah blah, and that's it. I hope this helped.